3.
Bro,
Just
can you
speaking for myself
imagine?
though,
Oh
in a
my
way,
God,
I'm glad
bro.
that Street Fighter 3 had to persevere and fight for the respect that it eventually earned. We'll leave on
You did it,
Obata's
bro.
words regarding what the team were striving for. You know, there are many different approaches you
Listen.
can take to game design. One approach, which we took in Street Fighter 3, is design your game around unanswerables. I think with any game, players will search for the best tactic, the best strategy. Like, if X happens, then you should always do Y. If you do this here, you'll always win. There's competitive games like that, where the match is essentially a confrontation of theoretical knowledge that each player has built up. But Street Fighter 3 is a game that, by design, doesn't have a fixed answer to those questions.
That's why we keep playing.
Tactic. You can spend your whole life trying to find the perfect theoretical approach to a situation in SF3, but it will never be quite right. You always have to be reading your opponent in the moment. You can't just fall back on your theories. It's a game that lets you search for answers forever.
That's, bro.
Man,
Oof. That, I couldn't have said it better myself. You know, for the years of me playing this game, I couldn't describe how it felt in comparison to other games. But I was like, something is different about this game, and I can't figure it out. And then I remember reading this same interview he saw where the developer talked about it, and he was like, "We made a game that's unanswerable, and so it lives forever." And it does. That's why people keep, like, you can't, everything has an answer. And so it's really up to the players. Like, a lot of times in other games, you could whittle it down and figure out what's the best. And I mean, not saying stuff isn't the best in Third Strike. I mean, it is, but in a lot of games, it's more concrete, bro. Like, and I think that's the difference between players, man. Like, too, right? Like, I look at people who don't like Third Strike, and a lot of them don't like Third Strike because they want concrete. I want to know that this is, like, they don't like the minutia, the getting in the mud, the wrestling around, getting dirty, having to be, they want, I went to the lab and I realized that this beats this and there's nothing you can do. You lose. Ha ha ha. Like, that's what they want. They want, a lot of people like that concrete, which is fine. That ain't this. A lot of people like that, like, I found these answers and your character can't deal with this, you lose. They want that guaranteed. And then if this character can't beat, I'm gonna play this character to beat these characters, and this character to beat these characters, and it's guaranteed game over. Ha ha ha. And that's what they want. They don't like that thinking. They don't want that back and forth. They want dominance. They want that control. They want that you're tied to a chair, and you can't move, and there's nothing you can do. And so if you like that, then you're not gonna enjoy Third Strike. Because Third Strike, both people's hands are untied, and may the best man win. That's all it is. So if you want to test your might, come play Third Strike and get in the mud, and that's where the respect comes too, right? Because, like, you lose to somebody, when I lose in Third Strike, bro, like, they in the mud with me, like, we wrestling. So, like, it becomes a mutual respect of, like, I don't feel, not 100%, of course, it's still character balances and stuff, but, like, it doesn't feel as your hands are tied behind your back. So if you lose, then it's okay, because I feel more comfortable in Third Strike knowing that my opponent beat me than the character. A lot more than a lot of other games. And that's why I like this game so much, because I can rest at night knowing that somebody's better than me. Because, okay, they're better than me. They're human like I am. And if I work hard, I can one day become better than them. But if a character's better than your character, there's no changing that. That's concrete. Because these are computer games. And that is not a good feeling, because now that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. That is some computer's system of X's and O's, ones and zeros. That's not my fault. And I can't sit right with that as much. So that's why I feel really lucky to be playing this one. That's why I personally like this game so much.
Find the perfect theoretical approach to a situation in SF3, but it will never be quite right. You always have to be reading your opponent in the moment. You can't just fall back on your theories. It's a game that lets you search for answers forever.